Why, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Nullius mod. This is a talkative show about the last time we met. I set up a factory dedicated to producing rubber as I was working towards scaling up my science production, my astronomical science production, and increasing the rate at which we launch some rockets around here. Oh boy, it's a rocket just finished launching, and we're immediately working on another one. Between episodes, I've added a few more rocket silos just placed down, of which 2 of them are giving me some wonderful, beautiful science. I have gotten some boxed science siphoned off on all of these, just because there's a few things that are going to need them. Cough, cough, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I have also revealed a little bit more of the map and expanded out my train line out in this direction because I may need more bauxite for various things. I may need more aluminum for various things as we go along. Yeah, as much as this is stopped right now, there's going to be a lot. However, soon we'll be able to replace some aluminum ingredient stuff with copper through some better recipes for a couple of very specific items that I am very much looking forward to. This in particular, logic circuits. Logic circuits are the biggest pain in my rear end right now because you simply need so freaking stupidly many of them, as well as arithmetic circuits or arithmetic circuits. They are just, the demand is huge on all of that. I'm also in the process of replacing my robots with Mark 3s, or level 3s, whatever you want to refer to them as. Down here, how many do I have? 25 more. Go be free. Do the thing. So I've set up some filtering, and I'm in this process now where they're filtering out. The available bots goes to 0. I flood more back in. It goes to 0. I flood more back in. It goes to 0. I flood more back in. And eventually, I will have enough Logibot 3s to completely replace all of the Logibot 2s, and I'll have excess 3s, and that's where I'll stop. Just to equalize the system for however much I need. I have also completely replaced all of the level 2 construction bots. So now all of our bots are level 3. I have a chassis 4. Off of 2 hangars. Of course, I chose to go the route of 2 hangars this time. I know it does reduce the overall range of my construction area, but I want to be able to have my bots just go without worrying about how much energy they will consume when they need to recharge and all of that. I'm just getting lazy. And of course, I have expanded my power even more. As I get my solar collectors produced in sets of 900, I place down a new line. Each extra line is 250 megawatts of power. It's pretty nice and pretty glorious. Today, the goal. We had the conversation about fusion cells a while back. We need fusion cells. Not for power. I made the argument very specifically with fusion cells that it's not useful for power because it's this really complex array of processes that you need to do to get into all of the tritium, essentially, for that fuel cell. It's not worth doing dedicated build to do that because it uses a whole bunch of power and it's a whole bunch of infrastructure that you otherwise need for other things. Whereas I have a dedicated infrastructure right here. You just place it and you have power. And you don't need to worry about it using power to actually keep operating at all. It just goes and it produces energy, and I just place it. Yes, it's more entities overall, but simplicity is key here. Now, I got someone who was extremely personally offended by the fact that people void wastewater across their base. I'm going to make this completely crystal clear. Up to this point, there was no use for wastewater, okay? As a new player who has never experienced this mod before, how am I to know ahead of time, without specifically looking it up, that I'm going to need infinity wastewater for fusion cells at the end of the game? That is not something that is inherently knowable early on. And once you've started with dealing with the wastewater to get rid of it, you're going to do that across the board until you realize, oh crap, now I need all this stuff. Even then, you couldn't pay me enough money to make use of the wastewater throughout all of the various factories around my entire base. You couldn't pay me enough to go and do that, to set them up onto these trains. I don't give a damn about it being intended or not for you to collect all of the wastewater that all of the processes across your base are producing to use to make these fusion cells. I don't care if that is the developer's intent. They can suck it. They can take their intent and shove it right up their ass. That's not how I play. That's not how I recommend playing. I don't see how people can play that way, because it definitely reduces the overall effectiveness of your time, right? I place time as the highest value thing on the planet. Time is worth infinity money to me, and I'm not going to do that tedious bullshit of setting up and dealing with wastewater at each and every single one of my individual factories. Okay? With that crystal clear setup, situation out of the way, actually setting up fusion cells. On my Discord, you can now find a blueprint that I have made for setting up an amount of fusion cells. Just import the empty canisters in, and you can make fusion cells at 1 every 20 seconds in this build. This build is very, very similar to what we've been doing lately with things like the lithium, because it is the steam into brine into salt build. That is the build. The salt is just getting effectively voided here. I am processing the brine. I actually overproduce the brine in this situation. I am producing the brine because it's an easy way to get into the steam that I need to maintain the wastewater production. And there's some sludge, I think, in here somewhere, maybe. I don't remember. Here. Yeah, there's some sludge from the actual wastewater into heavy water that's produced, and that cycles back into more wastewater. I chose to do 1/20th of 1 fusion cell per second because that happens to be more manageable with fluid throughput, pipe fluid throughput. So, yeah, needing to make 33,899 wastewater and 56,901 wastewater here between these two just to get one fusion cell. It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's incredibly tedious to build all of these buildings. The interesting part is this part. The like design part is what I'm playing for, so I designed it in a more manageable scale. And from here, it's copy paste city 20 times, or 19 more times, I should say, to get one fusion cell out. And we are actually going to go over there to turn it on, as they say. This does need to be started with an input of some description. I actually have to think about what it is that actually starts this thing. Steam, I think, will get it started and start operating. But yeah, I have the build minus this piece as a blueprint. It is available on my Discord server. It needs shallow water fill, the shallow water fill mod, to get all of these voiding and seawater placements placed. Of course, you place the blueprint. You have to go and add the water, and then you place the blueprint over that again once the water has been placed to get all of the pumps and outfalls placed. And this, of course, is not using the highest level of productivity modules yet. It doesn't have any beacons at all. It could be made more efficient using efficiency modules instead. If it was using efficiency modules, this is what it would look like. But no, instead of that, it is full productivity, because my intent of this is not to produce power in the end. It's actually pretty reasonable on the consumption, considering you end up making 2 gigawatts of energy when you have the full fusion cell going every second, at the cost of like a couple, like 100, 200 some odd megawatts. It's not that unreasonable, it's just hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of buildings. And that's what I'm complaining about, is the fact that it's hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of buildings. It needs to be faster with fewer buildings. Like you can keep it higher fluid throughputs. It's just a lot of infrastructure here that you need for all of this. And in order to just get one fusion cell, I don't think my entire base makes enough wastewater. Even if everything were running across the entire base, across everything that makes wastewater, even if all of that was running, it's not making 80,000 wastewater a second. I can guarantee it's not making enough wastewater per second, even if I used all of it throughout the entire base and did the really craptacular thing of having to deal with a train logistics system with infinity numbers of trains bringing wastewater to a central location. No, I'm not doing that. You can't pay me enough to make me do that. I can nearly guarantee that you cannot afford the price that it would take to get me to do that. That price being $1 million. Okay. Just wire that to my account and I'll do it, but saving that, we're gonna keep going as we are. All right. This build will need some either brine or wastewater or steam to get going. And I'm going to need to import those empty canisters. So we've got our empty canisters. Let's go ahead and request these empty canisters wherever they are in here. Where are empty? There they are. There's my glorious empty canisters. Oh boy. Why do I need fusion cells? Oh, that's a great question. I need fusion cells because of a little thing known as the missile box too. So I'm going to need to make these drones so that I can make mining drones. Where are the mining drones? These are all paving. These are all paving and remotes. Where are the mining? Where are the mining drones? I don't know. But the missile box, hold shift to when you hold shift, the tooltip immediately appears as you're hovering over things. So anytime there's like new stuff that you're trying to clear out, just hold shift and like just hover over the new stuff and it'll really quickly get rid of it for you. Let's see, where is that missile box 2? It needs fusion cells for every missile in order to make those excavation drones. Oh boy, where are mining drones? Here. The asteroid miner needs 4 excavation drones per asteroid miner 1. And then the excavation drone, each one needs a entire missile box. Each missile box is 5 fusion cells. We're going to need to launch in the rocket asteroid miners, and it will return a mine thing, an item. It will return an item of some description that will also be assigned a resource. That it will be assigned a resource. We're specifically looking for copper and uranium at this point, but specifically we need copper as quickly as possible. And each of these remotes needs terraforming remotes, not the actual terraforming drone, just their remote. So it's a productivity module and like the excavation thing. It's red processors. Ali, get out. Have a baby. A baby hath joined me. How's that, Ollie? Do, Ollie. Mr. Cat, Mr. Big Cat, go on. Off to the side. Whoops. Whoops, there you go. There's the big Ollie. Get sorted again. All right. So that's all of that. I need to do that. I'll be able to, with that remote, pick a spot and have the thing land and spawn in a ore patch for me of the specific ore. So now I have control, if I can launch those miners, those asteroid miners, for what resource I want where. It's absolutely wonderful and glorious. We just need this to, start moving and giving me these fusion cells at 1 every 20 seconds. Oh boy. All right. So in order to get this to run, I'm going to start with what? You from you. And that will make brine. Yeah, it'll make wastewater and water, but I just need it to start moving. Not there, though. I need it to be here. Ugh. Erg. Arg. Just get started. I need this to go because this is the one with the steam that I'm using. To get this to go. Excuse me? Go. Give me enough steam. Give me enough steam there. It moved. It hath moved. Oh, right. Well, there is a thing I need to do in here to help with this, to keep it going here. Just do that for me to go again. What I need to do is I need to make sure that this is always moving to always provide this, because this will make the steam down the line. So I've just added this little bit here to make sure that this setup, and I guess this guy too, is needed. I should move it up another one, but just to help speed up the process of getting it moving. I can get it moving without this in here. It's just, yeah, needed those things. Now this shouldn't be required at all, so pick all that back up. And if I've designed everything correctly, cough, cough, cough. If I have designed everything correctly, ta-da, hello. We are getting some tritium and deuterium. And we haven't gotten enough tritium yet. Oh boy. There it goes. The first ever fuel cell. Somewhere in here. Oh boy. Oh boy. I do not particularly intend on scaling this up on screen. So the videos I record today are not going to have this particularly scaled, because we're going to do that between streams, ideally. What is the stack size? 20. Oh boy, 40. Oh boy, 40 times 20 seconds divided by 60. That's 13.33 minutes. Diffusion cells. S fusion cells. Fusion cells. I have not gone and replaced every single one of my locomotives yet with the level 3 locomotive. That is another thing I didn't do. But every new locomotive is going to be level 3 from here on out. There's just a lot that need to be replaced, and that it's pretty time consuming. Also, the deuterium has an overflow valve to vent. From what I can tell, it's only the tritium that's the problem here. It's not the deuterium. When you overproduce on that, generally. So this is fine. These aren't running because these have to fill up first, pretty much. So how are we looking here? Are we good? Oh. Hey, Ollie, get! Stupid cat. I have, as they say, effed up. I didn't math right. Or did I? Did I math? Did I math? There's a reason So I looked at these 9. I took 47, 42, and divided by 9. That's still over 500, so I wasn't paying any attention. Oh, great. Well, at least I know now, and with that extra little bit in there, I will be re-uploading to my Discord the updated version of this that doesn't have this issue with the output water throughput. I was hesitant to even provide it to begin with at the time. It's just, it came up because I was literally challenged to build this, to just build it. If it's so challenging, just build. If it's not a challenge, just do it. God, it felt so good muting them, muting that person who was just being an absolute POS. Okay. We're done. So, also, I need to make this clear. There are some people who claim that they have OCD, and that their OCD forces them to try to make use of absolutely everything that comes out of a system. I have the reverse. To me, it is an absolute fundamental desire and need to completely eliminate every single byproduct that ever exists. I will make use of some in certain circumstances and overflow void in certain circumstances. If there is a byproduct that is a pure byproduct that I don't want to put in the effort to deal with, like the wastewater, I will fundamentally always void it. Always. In Pyanodons, that's the case with a lot of ore processing that ends up producing stone, gravel, and sand. Those 3 need to die the vast majority of time because I am not going to put onto my trains excess stone, gravel, and sand. I can get those very easily on site where I need them. I don't need to use them as a byproduct at all. Which, to this point, was the case with wastewater and sludge and like excess brine, excess various saline, with all the water products. It's like, if I need the water product, I can make it on site. And then we get to this that needs infinity buildings. Out of nowhere. Out of absolutely nowhere. Just infinity buildings are now required. Great. Thanks. How wonderful. I appreciate that. No, I don't. I absolutely hate it, despise it, think it's awful, terrible fundamental design issues here. Alright, so I'm just gonna grab that. I'm gonna get rid of you and your pipes. And then get rid of the rail and the signals. And save that. So that's the updated version of this. And just so that I know that this is my plan, that is gonna go there. And my glorious construction bot 3s are gonna go and take care of a few things for me. Wait, frick, I didn't... We need to do that again. Tiles. Tiles are needed. Get rid of those. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. And those. That's the one. Oh. Doink, doink. There's the water. Oh boy, and it's a lot of water as well. Just to keep that in mind, it's actually more than a stack of shallow water each. And the vast majority of it is absolutely necessary. Again, just gotta make sure the water gets placed, and then run the blueprint over it again. This is just to show the process. It looks like I do need more water. I should have more water in my train. And then how am I going to start that? Well, I'll have to connect it to the one that's going already, right? Maybe. Alright, that looks good, actually. For the distinct exception that... good. They have green lights, but they should always be green lights. Why? Get out. Why you no green? Why you know enough steam? Wasn't like 6 supposed to be enough steam? Maybe it's not a particularly fast feedback loop. I think I know what I need to do. Actually, I need to move this 6. So here. We need to make sure that these 6 are always provided with enough steam. That's the key. That's the key right there. So I will again redo the blueprint to fix that. But first, oh, we've made 12 units already. Yeah, give me more shallow water fill. Fusion cell day. A day I was not particularly looking forward to after I saw what was required for it, but oh well. Here we are. And yeah, you are like that instead. Okay. This, select new contents. Just grab the whole freaking thing. Get rid of this up top. Get rid of this down below. Get rid of the signals and the rail, and that is that. Yep, that is that. Okay. So just overlay and plonk. Oh, right. Get rid of those. I made some boo-boos and filled in water with landfill. And when I select to copy the tiles, it will copy the landfill as well. As well. Alright. Need a bunch of modules. Need a bunch of outfalls. To finish this, but otherwise... otherwise, I think it's good. Get that started. Self-start. Well, once it's going, it can be removed there. It will overproduce the steam, ideally. And once those 6 are going fully, it'll cycle enough to keep the rest moving. And that, as they say, is that, as Ollie has returned with a toy, with his blue string. He's got his blue string today. Hey, we've got the blue string. Go get it. Go, get. Just don't try to push your way into the closet. Please don't push your way into my closet. You know, where the computer is. I don't need you jumping on top of the computer. I really don't need that. All right, so now we have 20, 21. Let's head on back to the mall. I will meet you there. And we are back at the mall. In the process, running out of fuel on the way back, and having to put in more from my inventory. Fortunately, I have plenty of fuel. Ah, boy. Yep, hate it when that happens. Get rid of those empty containers, please, and bring me new ones. Alright, we will need to request and set up the depot priorities on those fusion cells, wherever those are in the list. Fusion cells? Fusion cells, there you are. Diffusion cells. Go ahead and save that. Gosh, this is annoying. That little UI thing. Like, all of this is in the same, like, window pane. All of this stuff here, so weird things happen. Also, this would be a great time to make sure that I have everyone who is a member of the channel named. It looks like that is the case. Yep, looks like it to me. All right. Moving on over to these guys over here. Where is this one? This one will be M fusion cells. Welcome, fusion cells. I will need to find M fusion cells. Add that, and we are good to go. Huzzah! We are good to go. Once we have that brought over, everything is glorious, and I think that is where I'm going to call it for the day, having made and brought over and had a conversation about those fusion cells. When we return, I will in fact be setting up and making the mining drones, and we'll get to see about getting into copper and all of that, and just trying to make heads or tails of the various things that we now have access to, having picked up a lot of the astronomical science at this point. I will see you all on the next one.